Hello, everyone, and welcome to the recap of the May 2025 Power Club meeting. The CRPS Power Club that I started, if you have not heard of it, is a place where those suffering with CRPS can come together for community, support, and education. One of the things about CRPS is that a lot of the information out there is incorrect, misleading, and fear-inducing. And so the Power Club is a resource and a place for people to come together, ask questions, learn about CRPS, their body and their mind, as well as encourage each other to move forward towards a more meaningful and fulfilling life, despite their pain or any condition they may be suffering from. If you would like to join the Power Club, there is a link to do so in the description down below. We meet once a month, and every month we review a book, the first book for this month being The Expectation Effect by David Robson. The Power Club is one of my many resources in my continuing effort to get good information out there about CRPS and help those who are suffering just like I was 10 years ago when I was diagnosed. After a 4-year journey with insufferable pain, I was finally pain-free and have been for nearly 8 years. Now I help people all over the world, not only with my 8-week self-guided online program and my one-on-one pain coaching, but this new venture, the Power Club. If you would like to join the Power Club, again, there is a link in the description down below. If you would like more information on my 8-week online program, check the description as well. And if you would like to book a free consultation with me one-on-one, please do check the description once more down below. You can also visit my website, thewindowpain.com, and watch more of my free videos on this YouTube channel that has over 70 plus hours and counting of educational content on CRPS and tools to help you move forward with life. Thank you to everyone who has joined the Power Club so far. The turnout for this first one was wonderful, especially since it seemed to be on a holiday weekend. The next one will be in later June to avoid the holiday, and I'll be excited to see more of you, more of your faces, and get to know you even further in the next meeting. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this recap is helpful to those of you that were there, educational to those of you that were not there, and I would really love to have you join us for the next one. Thanks so much. See you later. Okay, so as I was saying, we'll meet the second Saturday of each month. We will go over and review the book, which is this for this month, May to June, is The Expectation Effect by David Robson. We will also talk and catch up. I want each of us, as we get closer, to set a 1 monthly goal for ourselves. Okay. And this month, it can be kind of loose. Everyone's starting from a different place. So it can be anything, that seems to be pertaining to you. And as we get to know each other, we'll talk about what our goals might be and why. And so that's basically going to be the agenda for each meeting. And each meeting, in line with the book, the expectation effect, we're going to discuss why that might relate to us as people that are dealing with CRPS, why I might have selected that book, and why it might be helpful in our journey going forward. So as a preview, this book is about the power of the brain to form our experience based on our expectations. So what you're going to learn about is the placebo effect, which how many of you know about that in general? Okay, show of hands. I've got some people that have heard of it.
Well, what you taught me, but I know.
Yes. So the placebo effect is generally a good thing. It's a very powerful thing. It's so powerful, in fact, that when they do studies on drugs and medication, they often have to have a placebo group that gets a fake medication to make sure that the drug can be more powerful than just the belief in the drug. Okay, that proves efficacy. And so that's a good thing. And a lot of people know about the placebo, but how many of you know about nocebo effects? Okay, we got Pat, we got Carrie. Carol, Carol's learned from me. Jen, you shook your head, I think.
I don't know that.
Okay, so a nocebo effect is a negative effect. So to give you an example, if I was to take a lotion, CeraVe, just normal lotion, and I put it in 2 tubes. So here's the tub of CeraVe. I fill one tube with it, and I fill another tube with it. Same lotion. On one tube, I put this will feel good. On another tube, I put this will hurt. If I give you these lotions and you trust me, you will report that the tube that feels good feels soothing, and the tube that says this will hurt, or even if I put this will burn, you will report that it hurts, that it's hot. And also in many cases, physiologically, you will have redness appear on your arm. And this nocebo is the power of belief only. Okay, so that lotion's exactly the same, but you felt that it hurt. And in this book, they will go over many examples of that, from everything from dietary habits all the way to medication side effects, all the way to just lifestyle things in general. So you will see it's a very amazing book. And it's also a very good thing for us with CRPS to read because a lot of times our mind can perpetuate our cycle of pain. And so if we can start to work on getting control of that, which is what we'll work on first as we go through some of these books, that can really change the way we experience from day to day. Okay, so that's why this book is going to be our first one because I'm very excited for it, and I think it'll be a good framework for us to work from everything else. Originally, I was going to do The Mind Body Prescription by John Sarno, but that's a book that I picked up and put down early on in my life because I got upset at the message. Yeah, Pat's got it there. It's a challenge. Yes, it's a challenging book, and so I want to ease into that as a group, especially as we start to grow. Because right now we have in the Power Club we have about 18, and there's 8 of us total here today. So we're definitely going to grow. We'll get more people. The first meeting happened to be on Mother's Day weekend, so that makes it a challenge, right? But they'll watch this back and they'll be caught up in the spot and know a lot of you a little bit better. So on that note, why don't we go through this morning? And I'd like you to, let's say, introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, and let us know why you decided to join the Power Club. Okay? So I'll break the ice. My name is Chase Teagarden. I was diagnosed with CRPS about 11 years ago now, and I dealt with it for about 4 years. And ever since then, I've been pain-free, and now I help people with it. I grew up in Iowa, went to school in Missouri and Tennessee, settled in Texas, and right now I'm living in Japan for probably 3 to 6 months. We'll see how long. Um, and so, yeah, and I decided to start the Power Club because I felt like there was a missing piece to our whole group on Facebook, and that was this like close connection with each other, especially when pain tends to isolate us a lot because we feel like maybe we don't deserve to be out with people until we're feeling better. And I think that this group can encourage us to kind of bridge that gap and get out a bit more. So that's my goal with the group. Um, I'm gonna go on my screen, and you guys can't see my screen, but I'm gonna go left to right. And so, Pat, you happen to be to my left
Oh, right.
on my screen. So you want to go next?
Okay, sure. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers on the group.
Thank you.
I am from a smaller town. It's got about 300,000 people near Toronto, Canada, Ontario, Canada. And I have had CRPS almost 9 years. I've tried a lot of different things. And finally I've settled on what Chase has to offer, which is helping me a lot and the support. I just think he's awesome. And yeah, so why did I join this group? I like to read and I like to know things and I like to know the why behind what Chase is doing. And I think these books will help with that. Was that good enough, Chase?
That's fantastic. Absolutely. And I'm all for throwing in some praise in there, so thank you. No. And happy Mother's Day to you too, Pat.
Thank you.
It's already Mother's Day for me here in Japan, so I'm
Oh,
ahead of you
right.
guys, but
Right.
yeah. Okay, so going over to my right side now, we got Carol. She's next to me.
Can we see the
Hi.
picture, Chase?
I know.
What picture? Sorry.
Oh, there. Never mind. Never mind.
I
Okay.
think when the person speaks, yeah, you'll see. So my name is Carol. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Just thinking about what Pat said, we hear Brooklyn, and I don't know, the part I'm from is more, looks like a little fishing village. It doesn't really look like what you picture Brooklyn. But I decided I want to say, like, not really, I told Chase, God put you in my life at a time where I was like, the stuff we read online is so overwhelming, so horrible, so scary. I, I, I developed CPRS since January. I broke my wrist. So there's been like no official diagnosis because doctor seems to really want to say this is what it is. But I joined the group for two reasons. My personality type is a worrier, and I'll keep going over these negative things in my head. But I'm also a little lazy. I like to read, books that are entertaining and easy and fun. I need a little push to read these books that will really help me. And just the same with the community, the support. We all know how frustrating it is when even those who are closest to us and see us cry, really, they hear that there's, like your central nervous system. And so they think that pain isn't really there. It's in your head. It's really frustrating. So just the support and the knowledge, the positive knowledge that can help us to heal.
Absolutely, Carol, and I'm glad you decided to join. I think that especially this first book is going to really help you, because that feeling of worry, that rumination, that searching for answers, all of us in our own way are like that. I've mentioned this a lot, but it's the CRPS, we share a personality in certain ways, and so these books that we're going to go through had really helped me fine tune or change that worry feeling that I have and understand, what might be necessary and what isn't, right? A lot of times that worry develops after situations we've been in, whether it's in childhood or in adulthood. And so changing that is a very important thing. And this book, the first book, The Expectation Effect, I think for you in particular, for sure, is going to be an eye-opening journey to read. So that'll be great. I want to let you guys know also if you look.
Yeah.
Oh, you started it already.
I started it. I could see it's a good pick.
Oh, awesome. I'm very happy. So if you guys, as we were talking about before, I want to help you guys with the Zoom. If you guys are only seeing the speaker, like me speaking right now, if you're only seeing my face and you want to see everybody at once, you can find the view button on Zoom. Okay, so if you look at, and if you can't see a view button, click the more button, and you might be able to adjust your view there. But usually the view button is up at the top next to the time if you're on a computer.
Oh, yeah.
You see it there?
Gallery. There
Gallery view. Yep, there you go. So
Yay.
gallery view will
Yay.
show us
Yay.
everyone.
Ah,
We got it. And that reminds me, let me check the waiting room. Okay. All right, now going to our next person, underneath Pat on my screen, we've got Jose. So Jose, go take it away.
My name is Jose Perez. I am from Edgewood, New Mexico, which is about 30 minutes east of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was a respiratory therapist for over 30 years. During the pandemic, people were getting sick, people were quitting. My company implemented mandatory overtime. I was scheduled for 8 12-hour shifts in 10 days. And after the 7th, I was in so much pain. I went to the doctor 4 days later. My blood pressure was like 190 over 130. And that started this pain journey, which has been going on for about 4 years. In October of 2023, I was diagnosed with CRPS, and Chase's information, his self-guided course has really helped. And I'm joining because I want to continue to get the good information that Chase is providing and just continue to get better and better.
Awesome. Yeah, Jose, thank you. I was so glad when I saw you join. You might have been the very first person to sign up too. And I was really excited because I've seen, if you guys, I know some of you here are in my online 8-week course. Some of you aren't in that, but if you ever are in it, you will see Jose leaving some really good, thoughtful comments, leading some dialogue there, which is amazing. And he's really taken it, I can see the progress of everyone in my online course. I don't know, some people don't know this. But Jose, I mean, I think you might be one of the most progressed through the program. I think you and one other are as far as you guys are. And it's really cool to see your feedback as some of the first people finishing it. And the course, just so you know and everyone knows, it's going to be updating constantly. So some of the videos, I'm going to redo some of them. I'm going to make them better. And then I'm going to be adding, as you've gone through, you've seen one-on-ones with people that pertain more to each section. You know, so for example, right now, section 5, module 5, only has 2 one-on-ones. If I could show you my home screen right now, I have I want to say like 30 videos I'm debating on to put into these sections. So I picked the best ones. And yeah, I'm really glad you're here, Jose. I'm excited to, the first book, of course, is one of them in the course, but we will branch out into books that aren't there. So you will get a lot of things. And he's got it. Yeah. I love it. Perfect. Okay, next person. Heather is below me. So Heather, take it away. And cute dog.
Okay.
The dog knows.
Was trying to unmute.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
so
fine.
first, this is Coda.
Hey,
He
Coda.
saw people, he heard people, and he started coming over here. So yes, this is Coda.
Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
Coda. So cute.
Oh,
What kind of dog
Um,
is that? Is that a poodle mix?
He's a golden doodle, so golden
Oh.
retriever poodle. He just turned 4. He was actually trained as a therapy dog, and I was
Oh.
volunteering with him. Oh, and I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
But in December of 23, I had a car wreck where a vehicle ran a stop sign and basically did that to me. Within a month, I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, followed by POTS, MCAS. And I've been in PT now for, well, since February. Can you tell who my, yes. Since February of 24, since last year. My physical therapist is awesome though, and she will tell you that I failed PT with a joke, but it's semi-true.
Yeah.
This past January, so we're in May, so a few months ago, things were just getting worse. And the doctor that I have now is incredible with EDS and stuff. But she told my PT she was suspecting CRPS. And she just wanted to do a few more tests and imaging just to rule anything else out.
Yeah.
Imaging was more or less fine. Minus like some cervical stuff going on, but not related to the CRPS piece. It ended up being CRPS in a couple of different areas, which has been interesting because I also live on a 3rd floor spiral staircase with 2 dogs. Yeah. So that's been fun. But because of all of this, I haven't gotten to volunteer with this dude. Come here. With this dude. And he has accidentally picked up on service tasking, which has actually been really cool.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is that anytime my hand starts getting too tingly, where the CRPS is the worst, he will actually come and nudge it and start licking it. And he basically brings it back to life in a sense. And so I joined mainly because I love reading and I couldn't afford the 8-week program just yet, but my PT is also a reader, so she's going to read the books at the same time. And then we'll actually be discussing it during PT as well.
That's fantastic. I love that. Sounds like an amazing PT. And I want you to know and let her know that soon the course will be available for medical providers for continuing education credits.
Okay.
And Jose, anyone that's a medical provider here, I'll figure out a way to get you a certificate so you can just get those credits straight away. So yeah, Heather, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It sounds like the dog was a blessing in disguise in certain ways. And
for sure.
It very much has a golden doodle personality. My cousin has one and it's very cuddly and does this same thing that
he's a hot mess express. Look, do you see the look that he just gave me?
He's a beautiful dog.
He's 4 years old and he acts like a 6-year-old human stuck in kindergarten.
Yeah.
My other dog is like a corgi mix who's almost 9. She's
Yeah.
passed out on the couch right now behind a pillow.
Nice.
And they are polar opposite in every form and fashion, and they complement each other perfectly.
That's
Especially,
awesome.
he has the golden personality with the poodle creative intelligence,
Uh-huh.
which
Understood.
is dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you decided to join. Um, you know, when the time comes that you're ready to get into the online course, if you make that decision, let me know and we'll figure something out to make it easier for you, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, next one that is in line for us is Jen.
Okay. Well, hi guys. I live in Maricopa, Arizona, and I was diagnosed with CRPS back in July. I had a crush injury in my entire arm. It's coming up on a year on the 15th this coming week from Costco. So I got smashed by those commercial cart pushers. So some kid decided 25 feet away as I'm walking into Costco to do a remote without looking, and the caboose tried to connect to the line of carts, and I was in the way. So it took everything for my husband to get me out. It hit me about 3-4 times. So I was twisting. So I ended up, and it took 6 weeks to get all the MRIs. I had to have 6 of them. I had injuries, tears, a lot of tendinosis, a lot of problems in every joint, and I tore my shoulder. So I had to have shoulder surgery in July, and I have 3 pins. So because of the CRPS diagnosed 3 weeks after surgery, I had to switch PTs. And so then he had me go to a hand specialist certified, 25 years. And then that he liked, and that he also was a PT, so he could do my shoulder. And it took 3 months to even make a fist. So I'm really behind on my shoulder rehab still. I just now moved up from 2 pounds to 3 pounds in my hand to lift up a little bit to be starting to strengthen. It's been a long road. I've been in PT 8.5 months, twice a week. It's 2.5 hours. It's a lot. It's intense. It's the whole arm. And it's been a hard road. So when I discovered Chase back in, I think it was December, I happened to be in the beginning. I joined. There's only a couple that I could find, these groups. There's not very many groups. So one of them I joined, and it was just so scary. It was just like, oh my God, I'm going to have this forever. I don't even know I'm young. I'm 53, and I thought, I can't live like this for another 30 years. I'm like, this is horrible. And I had some dark days, and what really scared me is the only thing that's good right now is my teeth. And I was reading like 100 comments about people saying, yeah, they have like 2 teeth left. And I'm like, what? So then I was just like, I mentioned it to my PT, and he's like, I think you need to stay off that right now and concentrate on you. Let's just do this, working with you. And so I snoozed it. And every time it come after 30 days, I would snooze it again. And then that's how I found Chase. So I felt like I was so blessed. I felt God to help me to find you. So thank you. I'm not doing your classes yet. I feel like I've done a lot of it through PT. I've had a really good PT, but he doesn't understand exactly what I'm going through. I mean, he really doesn't. I mean, you've had it. So, I mean, it's really cool to have this connection. But people that have it, it's really lonely. I've lost a couple friends. They just, I guess, couldn't handle that I couldn't go to scrapbooking and they felt bad if their life was continuing. I don't know. Had a hard year where I lost some friendships, a lot of alone time. My husband is excellent, but it's hard, and he's still trying to understand it. And sometimes he's kind of mocks me a little bit. He's like, your alarm system's going, and I'm like, and I'm like, I don't need you to mock me at it. Just he's trying to learn it. But I'm thankful. I don't read much. I watch a lot of TV now, but I figured this would get me to read these books because I need it. I need to understand fully, and I need to have camaraderie, people that actually understand what we're going through. I'm still newer. I'm still trying to heal injuries, a shoulder injury too. Getting that back is really hard. So it's been a frustrating road, but I think that being on here with these ladies and gentlemen, I think that it's going to help me. And I know, Chase, all your little reels, your videos that you just post are so amazing. I don't know what and the fact that you can read it, like it goes across when you're reading it and you're watching it, your brain, I don't know, I'm learning it better by that, reading it as you're talking. It's really cool. It's like
a learner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and my little 3-year-old is like having to do some phonics right now. And I'm like thinking, well, I am doing phonics.
Yeah.
But I'm learning it, and I'm taking those. But the most thing that I think that you have done just by what I've listened to is telling me to get out and start doing things that you did that gave you joy. Because it was 8 months I couldn't scrapbook, and I used to scrapbook like 4 or 5 times a week in my room. It was because I have fibromyalgia, so 20 years. So I know pain every day. And it's like, that was my joy. And I had no joy. Like, it hurt just to go anywhere, my arm, the whole arm, and it'd be numb and tingly. And it's just, your brain is like, I don't want to do anything. So really stuck for like 9 months. January, I started going just to socialize once a month to these events and being there with people. You said, and you nailed it too. I had a better day of pain. I hurt, but it was like, I'm going to hurt on the couch. So at least I'm laughing and having fun with friends. So then slowly I've been going into my scrap room, all organized for 10 minutes. And then the next day, or, a couple days later, a little bit more now. And I do a crop crew, which is a weekly thing. I'm back to that after almost a year. And it's a 2-page spread. I mean, I know you guys aren't scrapbookers, but it's a class, and they were friends. So it's socializing, and it's super cool. So I'm back to that, and it's just bringing me back to life. Like, I feel like I can tackle some things without fear of a flare now. Because before I'd be like, why do I want to go in the scrap room and use my hand, fine motor skills to scrapbook and put stickers on, and when I hurt so bad at night after just using my hand for kitchen daily life. So that was like for fear and hurting, and I would stop doing things that I wanted, that I love. And now, because you keep, like, in my mind, you see, you got to keep doing it, and your mind will eventually, it will be like you can do it without fear. Like, I'm having a hard time saying what I want to say, but I just feel like it's just amazing. Well, and I've improved since January, like amazing, just by your video, little clips, and the monthly Q&A you've done. And I mean, all those that I've I read them and I watch them. So I just want you to know, thank you. So that's why I wanted to join this group. I need to have more information and people that know what we're going through.
Absolutely.
And I'm a scrapbooker too.
You are?
Yeah.
Yay!
We got a few. I think Heather raised her hand. Carrie raised her hand.
Do?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought scrapbook. That was wrong of me. I just.
Well, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad to hear that these things have been really helpful for you. I'm going to keep putting out all these resources. When not to self-plug, but when the time comes, if you decide to join the 8-week course, a lot of the videos do have subtitles. Okay, so there's the lecture, and then there's a subtitle underneath. So that if that's helpful to you, that's good feedback too, because I think I'll add it to some more videos. But I love it. I love it that you're enjoying the short form stuff. The short form stuff I am using as reinforcing the longer form stuff. So a lot of all of it is taken actually directly from other videos.
Right.
And so
I noticed that, like your Q&A, you would just take a little blurb of it and just put in little clips. And it was great.
Perfect. I love it. I feel like repetition is the father of learning, as they say. And so I think that's really good to have those kind of just hit you randomly. You remember one of the questions that were asked. Heather commented about how she found my Facebook group, and I want to speak to this too, Jen. But she said that she found it through searches and left the other groups because of the negativity. Loves that the Facebook group is more positive, and
Yes.
only CRPS group is stayed in. Yes. So
Yeah.
this is a big thing, and I've mentioned this to a few people even in here. I said, hey, you need to get out of the other groups.
Yeah.
I wanna just I wanna just let's do a thought experiment, okay? That I think will be really helpful for the whole group before we move on to Carrie, you're next, so get prepared. Um, but but here's the thought experiment, okay? 200,000 people a year are diagnosed with CRPS, okay?
Oh my God.
That's what the Google statistics says. But here, this is going to be nice for you guys, okay? The biggest group that I'm in, and I'm in these groups to help pull people out of them is my goal. You can still be in them, but if it's hurting your mental state, then it's good to
Yeah.
mute or get out. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the biggest group of that I'm in about, let's say 10. It has 20,000 people. Okay. So
Oh,
that is and a lot of those are probably spam accounts, right? The herbal bots, as I like to call them.
okay.
So anyways, 20,000 out of 200,000, that's 10%. Okay, so if we assume that everyone in last year that got diagnosed joined Facebook groups, then what that says to us is only 10% of those diagnosed are in these groups or having like long-term feelings. So that means 90% of people potentially are doing better or moving on. Now, the groups are not around for only a year. Some of these groups have been around for 10, 15 years. So if we take 200,000 times 10, that's 2 million people. And only 20,000 of those people are in some of these Facebook groups. A lot of people in multiple. Okay, so what does that tell you? 1% of those diagnosed with CRPS are actively in these groups.
Wow.
A lot of the individuals that are in these groups, unfortunately, are stuck, and this is why the first book is The Expectation Effect, are stuck in a negative thought loop. And what happens is, and I'm actually going to pull this up so you can see it. And this was in one of my Zooms, Zoom number 4. So if you haven't seen it, can check those out. But this is why the nocebo effect is so important to understand, because it will help you break out of this cycle. Okay. So this is the thought spiral that a lot of people in the groups are stuck in. Basically, what happens is you have pain, you have anxiety that pain is signaling damage. Then you become more focused on the problem. Then your nervous system gets more alarmed. Then you have more pain. Then you have more anxiety. Then your nervous system gets more alarmed. Then you have pain again. And this cycle continues over and over and over again. And by extension, this cycle takes place. Okay. You have injury. You have a pain experience. You go to the doctor and they tell you, we don't know what's going on, or you have CRPS, good luck. Take the medicine and good luck. This is negative information around CRPS, which you consume on the support groups a lot. That makes you catastrophize your pain. That makes you more fearful. That makes you avoid activities in life like scrapbooking. That makes you depressed. That makes you disabled. You have a pain experience again, and it repeats. You go on the groups, they tell you that they've got CRPS in the back of their eyeballs, everywhere. And it repeats over and over and over again. You know, you learn things like you think your teeth are going to fall out, all of these things. What we need to do is we need to have this pain experience. We need someone to educate us on our pain and what's happening so our fear reduces. We need to confront what is happening and accept, and then we need to move forward. And recovery does not have to mean necessarily that we're completely out of pain or anything. Recovery can mean that we're back to living life again. And little by little, what happened to me as I tried to live life again in whatever way I could, because I felt, okay, if the pain's not going to go away, I don't want to just give up and die. I want to live. And so what happened to me is suddenly the pain was gone. I was like, wow, 3 weeks and I haven't had pain. Interesting. And then I never felt it again, you know, when it came to my foot. So yeah, that is why I emphasize leaving the groups. That is why I emphasize guarding your mind. I even emphasize talking with family members and asking them to not say things like, for example, my brother and my father, they would say, "Oh, be careful, you have a bad back." I eventually talked with them and said, hey, it's just a back now. You know, I understand you're worried about me, but let's like just don't even mention that. Um, and that's from understanding the nocebo effect. So that's why the expectation effect is important. And for those of you that are still in the groups, a lot of you are to like spread the word, or help people that are really needing it. That's totally fine. But if you feel like it's affecting you negatively mentally, if you feel like you're looking at pictures that are scary or you're hearing stories that are scary, I would encourage you to start with muting it or leaving it. It's going to be better for you. A lot of the pictures and things shared in the group aren't even CRPS related. A lot of times they're comorbidities that people are mistaking for being related to CRPS. So that's another reason why they could be harmful mentally for you. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. We gotta get to Carrie. And actually, Carrie, I think I told you this. You share my mom's name, but my mom was Kari. So it's a cool day to have you in here. So you go ahead.
Okay, my name is Carrie. I live currently just outside of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Moved here from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area in
Oh,
2000.
I'm from Minnesota.
Yeah, 2020 during the epidemic. So, anyway, I have kind of a complex history. I won't really get much into it right now, but in February, I had an intermedullary nailing done from the knee to the ankle. And essentially, it's just a rod that goes from the knee to the heel. And let's see, I have the book.
Yes. There we go.
Read it in 2 days. I couldn't put it. And one thing, I'm a reader, but one thing that I don't do is highlight, and I've highlighted.
Ooh.
Wow.
So it was fascinating to me, interesting. I too have not taken the 8-week course, but and I found Chase through, I'm not sure, it was another Facebook group, and just found everybody just to be so positive. And I've had CRPS since 2005. I have it in my left arm and both lower extremities. So I don't know if I have a whole lot more than that. Have a couple cats. One, yeah, one keeps trying to introduce herself here. So
I see her. What's her name?
Gwen.
Gwen.
Gwen Stacy from
I knew it.
Spider-Man's girlfriend.
I love it. That's fantastic. Well, it's nice to meet Gwen, and it's good to have you here, Carrie.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited to have something like this, for people to join, who are maybe not. When I was going through CRPS financially, I was broke, student loan debt. I went to live at home with my dad, and so, the monetary part of things is something I don't want to be a barrier for people to start to have help. Okay, so the free videos are great. This is a low cost entry, and then, if any of you go to decide for the 8-week, reach out to me on Facebook. We'll figure something out to make it easier for you. But otherwise, I'm glad you're here, and Carrie, I'm glad already the first book it hooked you. And I hope that more of you get hooked when you start to read it, because I think the stories are fascinating. The design of the book, there's a lot of books with that kind of design that I have an idea for us to potentially go through. So it's fun, especially for me who has a hard time focusing. It's good for me to jump. It jumps through stories and examples, so that's really good.
Will there be homework? Like, is it a book that you have to think about things, or?
You definitely do have to think about things.
Chase loves giving homework.
I do. Yeah.
I'm a teacher, and he gives more than I do.
So yes, so that's a couple people in here work with me one-on-one, and a couple people in here on my one-on-one waiting list right now.
Well, I have a
and
consult with you today at 3:30.
Yes, you do. So we'll be jumping in. But that's one of the things I do every week. I put it's called next steps, and I like to have you have direction moving forward, tasks to complete for the week. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. That is in the plans for me to develop some homework, maybe thought experiments that you can fill out. Are all of you? I want to ask, are all of you able to, oh, very smart, Heather. I might just use that. Are all of you able to access perfect the Kajabi community? Like, how did you find the Zoom link today?
In my email that you
In your
sent.
email. Okay, I sent that
Email.
email.
Email was the
Okay.
easiest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Said
Messenger.
join me or something like that.
Yes, perfect. I want to know, are you guys able to see? I know Pat said she was able to. Since this is a new program, this community, I want to show you what the community looks like, and I know Jose can see it too. Have you guys been able to access and see this page?
I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Testing it again.
So this is, see, I have challenges
that?
here. Okay, so this is, it might be in the original sign up email when you signed up. It might have
Okay.
sent you a link, but I'm going to make sure all of you have it. I'm still
Okay.
building this currently. This is a new program, so I'm still
Okay.
learning. But as you can see, I can add a challenge. I can
Okay.
add course homework and stuff. So that is something I am gonna work on doing. So this can be interactive. But you're good to go in here and update everybody and talk to everybody.
I don't,
As it
I'm sorry, Chase. I don't know how to get to the, I think when I joined last meet you had a link in the chat and I just like joined. Could you like email that or
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna
Yeah.
be one of my projects in the next week or so. I'm gonna make it so all of you can get to that easier.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay. All right.
and yeah, so that'll be perfect. And I'm excited to see how it flourishes. And I'm also excited for a lot of the people that couldn't make it today to be joining us too, because there are a lot of individuals that you've seen on my other free Zooms. And I think a lot of you are going to resonate with each other just knowing some of your backgrounds so far. I think it'll be really good.
Okay. Cool.
And okay, we've saved Miss Donna herself for the last introduction. Tell us about you, Donna.
Okay, I got Kleenex.
You got Kleenex?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so hi, my name is Donna.
You can
I'm
do it.
feeling a lot of pain,
Yeah.
but just give me a minute.
Take your time. We're here with you. It's no rush. I can
I
talk
grew
about
up
you a
in
little.
New Orleans. I had a great childhood and grew and moved to North Texas in 1988, and my husband and I met at church. He's amazing. And we were at the McKinney Music Festival in June of 2021, and I got up to go see a friend I haven't seen in forever, but I stood up too fast and I fell because I didn't know I had POTS. I fell and I broke my left wrist on both sides, and I'm left-handed. So Thomas is my husband. He took me to the ER and they confirmed it was broken and they put the splint on incorrectly. I was in so much pain for months. He kept changing cast after cast, x-rays, and finally the bone doctor said, your bones are healed, you're fine. I'm like, I'm not fine. So he sent me to the neurologist in the other office, and he did some tests and confirmed I have CR. Actually, he called me the next day. He said, "Can you sit down?" Yes. You have CRPS. What? What is that? I don't know what that is. He said it's a central nerve system damage with your vagus nerve. down my arm. Now it's like everywhere. But they try to put me on gabapentin, opium. I don't even know what else. It totally wigged me out. So I'm on no pain medication.
Yeah.
Just doing natural yoga exercises. Thank you, Chase. So fast forward, I met Chase through Charles Maddox because his mom has CRPS. I don't know if you know him, but his uncle was Bob Marley. His mom has CRPS, and he did a video called Trial by Fire. And we're actually in Trial by Fire too, with you too, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so it gives people hope that you can. I don't know if I'll ever feel like I did before this again, but I will try my best. And I'm focusing on doing things I love, like gardening, cooking, spending time with my family.
Yeah.
And exercising. I have this little squeeze ball and stretchy rope thingy, and I just do it like this is where I work. This is my kitchen, but this is where I am all day mostly, and it's awesome because there's windows because I love nature. So,
Yeah.
I did read the Upward Spiral that you told me first, Chase. It's an awesome book. So I can't read a book now, but I can listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I recommend that one. And right now I'm doing the Super Better one. And I'm on chapter 5, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So Donna,
yes.
I was going to say, you've got a little bit of a preview of, some books that are outside of the course even. Okay. So, a couple of the books that you've read, I don't think are part of my online program. So that's fantastic. I'm glad you've liked them. What made you want to join this?
You.
Fair enough.
Well, because I'm in your 8-week program and you messaged me about this one, and I just want to get better. I want to feel better. I want to get well. Like my muscle, I have atrophy so bad right now. It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I look at in the mirror, I'm like, that's not me. That's gross. But I usually weigh like 120. Now I'm like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to eat better and exercise a little bit. Like I have my squeeze ball, my rope thing, and my little 5-pound weights right here. So I do that every day. And my little feet lifts like you told me to do.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Awesome.
yogurt and fruit, and I just try to eat healthy. So I'm loving the weather now. I don't like the winter time. The rain and the cold weather kicks my butt.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep brainstorming stuff, Donna, and Donna is one of the people that is on my wait list, right? So pretty soon we'll be able to work together one-on-one, and we'll get you feeling good. And the Power Club will be a good place for you to have some extra support and learn even more. And it'll be good. And I'm really glad you decided to join. I'm really glad.
Me too. Me too. And Thomas wants to watch sometimes too. So sometimes he'll be sitting next to me.
Of course.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas, your number one supporter. And like we have, Pat and Clark, of course, and a lot of people with some wonderful husbands supporting them and partners supporting them. So I love it. And yes, they are welcome to watch or sit in anytime. That's fantastic.
And I don't know if y'all are prayerful people, but we pray together a lot, and he's very supportive of me in that way too.
Yeah,
Yeah, my faith has been the backbone of this whole thing. Otherwise, I would have
Yes.
crumbled.
Me
I
too.
just want to
I
say
agree.
it's making me even happier that I to have this group here because I do feel that God put Chase in our path to help.
Yep,
God helps those
Yes.
who help themselves, but
totally.
No
ultimately it's going
doubt.
to come from Him. We're going to get
Amen.
we're going to get miracles.
yeah.
I hope so.
I love it. I love it. And I'm yeah, I'm glad that you're
Oh,
all here. I'm glad to have this group started. Donna, what's up?
so I'm wearing my shirt.
Yes, nice
I
shirt.
All
want
right.
I want one of those things.
So there'll be
Also, we've been giving out I didn't get to do the walk because it was raining that day and it
mm,
was in a bad way. But we've been handing out your brochures and cards. So
Yep,
yeah.
I do too.
we keep them in Thomas's car because whenever we're out and about, and we're gonna take them to his mom's tomorrow to give to his family because we're going there for Mother's Day.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys rock and it makes me happy because you guys are over in Fort Worth area, right? Near there?
McKinney,
McKinney. Okay. Um,
McKinney.
so you guys are out where I used to live, near where I used to live. So that's great and that makes me happy.
So,
And so thank you. I know a lot of you in here have been giving out some of my brochures and stuff, and that's awesome. And if you're wanting a t-shirt when I get back from Japan, I've got another round of them coming of the exact shirt Donna has on. So you'll be able to pick that up if you'd like to.
Yeah.
And then I'm working on for later in the year when it starts to get colder again, some really soft hoodies that a few people, my sister, my dad, and two of my teenage coaching clients in New Jersey have been trying out for me to make sure they're good quality, the prototypes.
I want that with maybe some sweatpants too that have it on the side as
Yes,
an
yes,
option.
yes. Good, very good idea. And yes, that is in the works. Absolutely. So
Awesome.
I've had a lot of requests. I want to make sure it's all very soft blanket. Oh, good idea. Something like that
Oh,
could be
yeah.
good. Yeah, so I want to keep fostering this community. I think that it's very nice to meet all of you today. I'm very excited for how the club's going to grow. I think, next time when I don't think it's a holiday weekend. I should check. But I think it will be a great turnout and we'll be able to discuss this book in depth and what things in the books mean, why it relates to us in dealing with CRPS, and how we can use it to our advantage. Because if there's a nocebo effect that is driving our pain in this pain spiral, then we can use the opposite, the placebo, to drive us out of it. Okay.
So,
I used
Chase,
Yes.
are you going to like lead the discussion and like how will we participate?
Yes. So when we come in here, of course, we're going to update each other on goals that we're working on individually, which we're about to
Okay.
assign ourselves here in a
Okay.
second. And then in the discussion, I'm going to ask about, things like what were the most meaningful parts of the books for you or the book for you and why? What was something that was surprising in the book? What was something you potentially disagreed with in the book? Because there will be books we read where we don't agree. It's going to be kind of in that format, right? And you will bring up and branch off of ideas in discussion from there. And that's how we'll go about it. And then we'll move on to the next book. In June, I'll assign another book for us to learn and talk about in July. So it'll just kind of hop each way from there. But yeah,
So June 15th is Father's Day, so just keep that
of
in mind.
course I did that the same. That's so funny.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Oh my
I just
God.
wanted to say that I have to sign off. I know, like,
that's
so
okay.
the Saturdays I do church. I got to leave at 4. So,
No
but it
problem.
was nice meeting everyone. I'm looking forward to our
Nice
next
to
meeting.
meet
Chase,
you.
thank you so
Nice
Good to
much.
meet
meeting you too.
Bye,
Nice
guys.
meeting
See you,
Bye.
you.
Happy
Carol.
Mother's Day.
Yes, thank
Happy
you.
Mother's Day.
Carrie
Um,
probably wants to know the next book because she's already read this one.
she's already done. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm once I decide the next book, Carrie, I'll get it over to you, and I can put it, I can always put it early in the Power Club if you guys are
Yeah.
finishing quicker. And we'll toy with the idea of meeting, more frequently or something like that as we go. As I said, I'm really thankful for all you guys being here because this is really a full-on test of how this is going to go. And I think it'll develop into its own thing. I have a vision, but I think as we go, it'll shift, it'll become something, definitely, hopefully more than just a book club, right? That's kind of how I trick you to get in here, and then you're locked into the
I
to the
don't
group.
see it as just a book club. I see it as getting well, another step to growing and healthy.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Donna. You really are. And what I'd like to do now as a token to that, okay, with getting well and branching off of what Jen said about returning to things that we love, okay? I want us to set a goal that we can update each other on in the next meeting. And I want to know what each of your goals is for the next month at taking a little bit of a step closer to living life, and it can be something you used to do before you started having this pain, or something you've been wanting to do while you've been having this pain, and let's make it realistic, if it's something like scrapbooking, right? Going to a scrapbooking event would be very hard right away. But can we tidy a small corner of our scrapbooking room to start, And so that's what I want you guys to think about. So Donna, for example, you mentioned how much you love nature, okay? And
Yes.
you might already be doing this, but is there a place that we could go that's in nature, maybe a little bit scenic, and not even walk around much or anything, but even just sit and enjoy the nature, So
Mm,
I'll take a start for an example, because even though I'm not dealing with pain, I still deal with, for example, I'm in a new country, okay? Being in a new country comes with a lot of challenges. So for example, I felt the first couple weeks I was here some feelings of like social anxiety, okay? Because I don't want to offend or disrespect anyone on accident when I'm in an entirely new culture. And so in the first 2 weeks, I was kind of afraid to venture out from my apartment here in Tokyo. And so getting out and doing that was a first step for me. And now what I'd like to do is I want to get back to using my camera a bit more. I'm in a beautiful place, a place that's very much different from America, and being creative is an outlet for me. So my goal for the next month, I'll be ambitious, is to take and edit 50 photos. Okay. And
Geez,
so
that's
that's
my 5 minutes.
yeah, so it's gonna, and I'm very critical of myself. A lot of us share this. I'm very perfectionistic, right? So that's gonna be a challenge for me. But I think that the challenges are what help us grow. So that's my goal. Um, Now let's see who wants to go next for a goal. Anybody got an idea?
I got mine.
Okay, Carrie, tell us.
I've been non-weight bearing since February, so I went from a wheelchair to a walker, and now I want to get off a walker to at least a cane. So I've been trying to get rid of it, and that's been my goal. It's been a long process. I'm looking forward to being done and over with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Amen.
How are you approaching the transition, Carrie? Do you have a plan here?
I just try to stay positive and upbeat. One thing about this book, it was kind of like positivity kind of brings positivity, negativity brings negativity. And I just try to reframe like how I think about things. And it's been, my physical therapist has said I have taken leaps and bounds since February. So
Awesome.
I'm hopeful. Every day is a win. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love that. And along the way over this next month, if you need suggestions outside of what the physical therapist has given you, I'm pretty easy response on Messenger. So shoot out a message, and we'll brainstorm, okay?
you are, I appreciate it.
Of course. So we've got 50 photos in a month. We've got working on getting to using the cane more
Okay.
often, right? And then Jen, what do you got?
Well, I think for me, since I'm at a scrapbooking event, so
Yes.
that's big.
Yeah.
And I did a couple pages already before this, so I was pretty excited.
Yeah.
I wear a brace when I'm out and about to protect my fingers and my wrist, because that's my main problem right now is my flexion of my wrist and fingers. If they get bumped, it really hurts. So I'm still driving one-handed, but I can now, my brain is allowing me to put my hand up sometimes. So that's amazing. That means I'm not thinking about it. I'm doing things now that I'm not thinking about. But I think that I can work on when I'm out and about not wearing my brace, like trying to get away from it. Like I don't wear it at home unless I have to do like something heavy or, you know, pick up something heavier than I normally would. But out and about, I'm afraid like, will that door be heavy? Or, you know, and so I have an extra like support with the brace. And and I don't know if that's bad at this point, but that would maybe be something, because I chose not to wear it when we went the other day to the botanical gardens, because I knew that there wasn't much people around and I would only be taking pictures. So I didn't wear it, and it was great. And it was a beautiful day, and now we're hot. So it was like 70s, and now we're 100. So it was like only 3 days ago, but I didn't wear it. And I was like, oh my gosh. But then I went to open a different car door because my husband switched cars, and I was like, oh, that's heavier. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that could be a goal that I tried to get out of the fear of wearing it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect goal. And I want to give you some ideas for how to approach that, okay? So you can one thing I do sometimes is I say, let's set some parameters. So if I'm going somewhere that I will be at for less than 10 minutes, so running to the store, you know, picking up a prescription, what have you, filling up gas in my car, then all of those activities are no brace activities. Okay. Any activity longer than that, then the brace is okay. And so you set that hard rule for yourself. And those small doses of activity is like if you're training for a marathon, you're not going to run a marathon all at once. You're going to do small miles and 3 miles training. So that's how I would recommend first option. Okay. Second option is we go from a brace to something that is a slightly less restrictive, but still protective. So you go from brace to compression sleeve, or from brace to light wrap.
Where are those from?
Blake.
Or from brace to smaller brace.
Like without the metal.
Yes, and
like metal and
yes, and so that's the perfect idea. So we're going from, oh, would you look at that, Pat? That was, I know that Clark brought that for you.
He did, but it's from Blake, my son.
Oh, well, look at that.
nice.
Beautiful. I love it.
Aww, so sweet.
So we'll go from brace with metal to brace with less metal. And the reason this is important for everybody else, anybody that might be using a brace, you have to give the message to your brain that that part of your body is safe. If you have that part of your body splinted or braced, do you think the brain thinks it's safe? Or do you think it needs to be protected?
Protected.
Yes. And so,
and
of course,
that's why I feel like that would be a good goal, because
Perfect
I
goal.
I feel like, oh, I'm out and about, I'm gonna get hit with my hands, or you know.
Yeah. Perfect goal. We'll take it one day at a time. If there's a day that it's feeling extra sensitive and you're afraid, that's okay. But I want you to set like hard limits for yourself. 10 minutes, if it's a 10-minute or less trip, no brace, or straight up switch from the brace to a less restrictive brace.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so there's that. And then, all right, who's next? So we've got 50 photos a week. We've got working on walking with the cane, or a week, 50 photos in the month, working on walking with the cane, and the brace adjustment or removal. Okay. Fantastic. Who wants to go next?
Me.
Donna, go for it.
Mine is not very, I hope it's okay to say this one here.
Yeah.
I need to be able to be more intimate with my husband. Because of CRPS, I haven't been able to. Yeah. And also going through menopause. So that's my goal. To get stronger and figure that out, because I'm so in love with him.
Yeah.
It's been a challenge.
I have an idea, Donna, if you're open to it. Are you open to it?
Sure.
Okay, so a lot of times this aspect of things can be really overwhelming, right? Especially we feel like there might be expectations for us. We don't want to disappoint, and that might get us very energetically charged up, nervous. Does that make sense? Anxious. And so one thing I suggest with clients who are having this trouble, which you're not alone, okay, is something that I call the I don't even think I've named it, but we'll call it the spouse breathing exercise. Let's put it that way. And so what you're going to do, I'll explain it really quickly, and that way everyone here can try it if they want to as well. You're going to go with Thomas, and you're going to sit facing him, okay? And you
Okay.
guys are going to put your foreheads together, and this might be kind of funny at first, right? You're going to be forehead to forehead. You don't got to stare at each other, but at least put your foreheads together, okay? Then you can look down, that's fine. And then you're going to take your hands, if you can only use one hand, that's okay. But you're going to put your hands on his rib cage, okay? Kind of the back right here.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is you're going to lead because you're smaller, okay? You're going to take a big breath in and out. And Thomas is going to follow your breath. He'll be able to feel your breathing when your ribs feel up and then when your ribs close. So he'll follow you. And what happens in that situation is our nervous system will relax, okay? Because we feel safe. One, we're being embraced. But two, we're breathing slowly, just like a relaxed animal would breathe, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to try first 5 breaths with Thomas and then 10 breaths with Thomas. And you might giggle at first. It might seem kind of weird, but I guarantee you that it'll feel a bit more emotional than expected and more calming than expected. And even though that's not, direct intimacy, like the full act of it, it is a form of intimacy that can open the door and make you feel safer going a little bit further. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you recording this so I can write this down? Because I couldn't write all that down.
Yeah, I'm recording it. Don't worry. And so you'll be able to,
Okay.
and this is really going to help a lot of people. Okay. And there's a couple clients that I've done this with, and they said it made a huge difference with things.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you.
Yeah, and just so you know, nothing is ever weird or off limits to say in this group. We've all been there struggling. Even at my young age when I was dealing with CRPS, that was a quite a challenge for me too. Okay, so I get it. And so that's an activity that you can try. Okay, so we've got 50 photos a month. We've got walking with the cane. We've got the brace challenge. And then for Donna, we've got the embrace challenge. Okay, perfect. Who's next?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jose.
So my doctor is wanting me to get outside and get some more sun and walk more because I usually get most of my exercise from my whole body vibration plate. But one thing that I noticed here recently is that when I'm on the vibration plate, I can easily touch the ceiling with my left hand, but with my right hand, I'm about 2 inches from the ceiling. So, my CRPS is in my right shoulder, right elbow, and hand. And I've had frozen shoulder.
Yeah.
And I saw one of your videos where doing nerve glides helped, but I didn't really get into it because when I attempted them, they were painful, obviously, especially like holding the plate, doing those glides. But that's something I think I really need to work on is maybe more nerve glides so I can get that range of motion back.
Sure.
Maybe I can get an inch closer to the ceiling
Sure.
in the next month. But that's something that I think I need to work on.
That's perfect. And that's a good 1% kind of goal. I think that's amazing. If the nerve glides are too painful, make them smaller. Even going like this is gliding the nerve, even if it's just this. Additionally, there are activities you can do for the shoulder, such as shoulder flexion table slides. Okay. That's an exercise you can look up on YouTube. Um, Shoulder abduction table slides. So that's gravity eliminated exercises for the shoulder to stretch it out and forward. Okay. So those are some examples of things we can do. And if you remind me, I can try to link you some of those videos. If you send me a message on Messenger, I'll link some of those to you, okay? To give you some help with getting some more of that range. So, but that's a great goal. I think that's a fantastic goal. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going through the recap again. 50 photos in a month, getting onto the cane, reducing using the brace, embracing more for Donna, and Jose, increasing the range of motion in that right shoulder. Perfect. Okay, we've got two more hiding in the back there. Pat.
I want to do some gardening. I've missed
Ooh.
that so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. What's our first step?
I don't know. I want to do weeding because it needs it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to overdo it because then I feel bad. Yeah, so the first step is probably, what will it be? I don't know.
I can give you suggestions. So weeding is calling out to you, right?
Yeah,
But we don't want to overdo it. So much like I did with Jen, we want to pick a hard rule. Okay. I've had clients who want to mow their lawn, for example, but of course mowing the whole lawn too much. And it might look bad for the neighbors, but what I usually suggest is, hey, we're going to do a fourth of the lawn every 3 days. Okay. So when it comes to weeding, I don't know how big the garden area is, but
pretty big.
yes. So let's take your garden area. Let's divide it into thirds or into fourths.
Okay.
And then we'll weed in one area one day, couple days later, or the next day, if you're feeling up to it, we'll weed that area. And then the next day we'll do the next area. And so breaking it down like that, it's not going to be forever. You don't have to break it down like that forever. But
Right.
just like you did with the bike, little by little, we'll be able to add more. So that'd be my suggestion. For other clients who've wanted to get to gardening, but like, let's say the sun is too harsh for them at the moment or the wind, I've suggested things like, hey, why don't we get some indoor plants? Why don't we start there? Taking care of those guys, watering them, things like that. So there's
I
always
can
an
get out.
avenue. You can get out. I know you
Yeah.
can. So perfect. So Pat's got the gardening. Okay, let's see if I can do this. 50 photos a month, back to the cane, reducing the brace, embracing more, reaching up that hand overhead, and gardening. Perfect. Look at us. And then Heather, last but not least.
Basically, everyday life. I have, well, I work at a school. I'm a paraprofessional, but we're about to get into finals. I'm in the middle school. So if I can get through this week and next week, then I can kind of breathe a little bit. But right now I'm kind of in survival mode. I come home and crash, and my dogs are the best because I can come home, crash. Coda's been kenneled all day, and he still lets me take a nap when I get home until like 5:30. So all that to say, I'm actually been on ChatGPT asking for goal ideas.
Okay. And what's your goal?
So ChatGPT helped me with this one. It was housekeeping. It was reclaim my space with grace. That's what it called it.
Okay. Yeah.
ChatGPT has been hyper focused lately, but it's been fun.
Yeah. I like it.
If you can tell by like the random journal and art prompts, that's been really fun.
I love it. ChatGPT is great. It's a fantastic tool. So it's what does it mean reclaiming your space when it says that? What's it mean?
So it said, this month I will gently reclaim and care for my home environment by completing one intentional, manageable task each day or most days, trusting that even small efforts create calm and dignity. And then it said, break it into action, break task into 10, 15-minute chunks as needed, pair with music, affirmations, or expectation belief. Celebrate the completion, not perfection, and track with fun stickers. And the
I like
second
it.
part of that goal is to go on at least one hike. I finally went hiking one time since my wreck happened in the end of 23 because I love hiking with my dogs, but I haven't been able to because it's
Yeah.
also when I sprained my ankle in January, it basically went into the other ankle as well over to
Mhm.
that's been fun.
Mhm.
Anyways, so I want to go on at least one hike, just a small one, once school is out. Because I know right now work is all my energy.
Yeah. Okay.
But when school is out after Memorial Day, basically, then I can kind of breathe.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that, I think your tasks kind of will complement each other too over time as you work on this uh these household tasks, moving about and getting up and bending down. That'll help prepare you for a hike. Okay. So I want you to, as a start, to get you started, what is the first area of the house or space that you're going to, let's say, tidy or clean or reorganize or whatever it is that's coming to mind when you think of this goal?
Honestly, the hardest area for me is laundry
Okay.
because my apartment doesn't have a washer dryer hookup even.
Yeah.
Now, getting it down is actually kind of fun because I put it in trash bags and literally toss it.
Hmm.
That's actually kind of therapeutic
Sure.
in a weird way. Now,
Yeah.
getting it from the courtyard area where I toss it to my car is one step, but then getting it from the car to the laundromat and actually going.
Sure.
The hardest part, the last two steps, getting it from my car when it's clean back up my stairs because I can't toss it up, so I actually have to carry it.
Yeah.
That's the hardest, that step, and actually folding it and putting it away. That's probably the hardest task, is
Yeah.
that little piece right there.
So are you sure you want to start with the hardest task as a goal, or is there something else in your house that
Well,
would be
that's
easier?
more like the overall goal is
Long-term
probably
goal.
honestly, I guess the biggest goal is getting laundry under control.
Okay.
But the area I would say is my like sitting area, like my couch, like my little what I've made into a living room area.
Yeah.
That's probably the number one area I want to focus on because that one's not a hard area. It's
Okay.
more Coda picking up his toys, and he actually does pick up his toys on
Okay.
command. It's
Good.
fun.
Perfect. So, okay, that area will be a starting point for you. Um, there's someone I respect quite a lot, and he says to pick one room in your house and make it as beautiful as you can.
Mm.
I think that's for everyone. I think that's really important, because where you live is a reflection of your internal environment. Okay, so for
Yes.
example, if you spend a lot of time in your car, if your car is riddled with mess, that might clutter your mind a little bit. Okay. And if you spend a lot of time in a certain room, for me, it was my dad's couch. If that is in squalor, that might make our mind feel that way. Okay. A lot of times our environment is a reflection of our mind and vice versa. Our mind's a reflected in our environment or a reflection of our environment as well. Okay. Just like the people we spend the most time with, we tend to be the average of, right? I don't know if you've heard that saying, but you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So pick your
Mhm.
people wisely. Your environment is the same thing. A tidy place often helps you have a tidy mind. Does that mean that cleaning is going to clear your head? A little bit, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be the end all be all. It's just one thing you can tilt the scale in your favor. So I think that's great. Um, you know, Things like making your bed first thing in the morning, that can start your day on the right foot because you feel like, hey, one task accomplished. Now let's continue the trend. So yeah, I like that a lot, Heather, and it might give other people some sub goal ideas. So that'll be good. Okay. Oh gosh,
Yes.
the final test. So 50 photos in the month. You getting back to the onto the cane, reducing the brace use, improving our embracing with Thomas, reaching for the sky. Okay, gardening, specifically the weeding, and then quite a few goals here, but tidying our immediate space, getting CODA in line to get things cleaned up, and then working toward the overarching goal of laundry. Okay, and then hiking, of course. All of that I think complements each other for you, Heather, so that's great. These are all awesome goals, and what I want to do is I want to come back next month and we'll check in sometime during our meeting. We'll figure out the structure to see how everyone's done on their goals, and then we can set some new goals, and they might be goals that are functional in this manner, or they might be goals in the form of like an assignment, that I give you guys in relationship to maybe the book or something else, or a worksheet of sorts, to help us move forward. Okay, so this is how I think the meetings are going to go. We're going to catch up with each other, update each other on how we're doing, review the book, learn some things, and then set goals for the future. That'll be our thing so that we can grow together. And the group's going to grow. And if I want to keep it to where we're around, like 20 people in a setting. And then what we'll do is we'll probably branch like subgroups of people who join later, and do stuff like that too. So people can attend at different times and things. But so far, this first one, how do you guys think? I'm giving it a thumbs up. Good. Perfect. I'm excited too. I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, we'll keep going. So we'll plan for the next one to be the 14th. I might switch it and I'll let you know for sure. But probably the 14th, it just happens to be Father's Day weekend, but we'll we'll make it work if we need to. But if we need to switch, we'll switch to maybe the 7th or the 21st, but I'll let you guys know, okay?
Well, we just invite our fathers.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, bring your father to
have
group.
another scrap day crop that day. I'm like, oh, gotta go to the car again. So if you do,
Hey.
I have to say something, Chase.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all you do. We're so very grateful. I feel
thanks.
so blessed to have met you.
Well, thanks, Donna.
Thank you for all you do. And that's it. Amen.
I appreciate that, Donna. And I'm blessed to have met each and every one of you, okay? What I do does not feel like work to me. I get excited for it. As a testament to that, I don't know if you guys know this, but we started at 4 a.m. in Tokyo. Okay, so if you want to know how excited I get about this stuff, I got up at 3:30 to be here, okay?
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So this is really fun for me and I really enjoy it, and I'm glad to know all of you. So I'll be excited for the time ahead. If you have any trouble with any of the stuff in the program, figuring out how to source the book, anything like that, you can message me on Facebook, or you can leave a comment within the Power Club, or you can email me. Any of that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's available.
Facebook
He's available
page?
24/7. This guy,
Seems like it.
he doesn't work. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't eat.
What do you
Is
think,
the
Donna?
Power Club a Facebook page or a website?
It's a website, and I'll show you. Let me stop the recording here. So everyone wave goodbye to the people watching the recording,
Bye.
and then I'll show you. Okay.